Hello everyone, and welcome to another one of our Sunday celebrations. I think I should have the number of which one this could be, because you know it's been almost a year. And we're here because you are so supportive. Your financial contributions are so important. The fact that you are sharing this with friends, the fact that you are having watch parties, the fact that you are liking us on Facebook and using social media, it really is the town square of how we're getting things out. So thank you for that. And there's so much going on right now. I'm so excited to share with you. The first thing is we're looking at a grand reopening outside in our courtyard on March 21st. Weather permitting. So if you are a local, please mark your calendars and pay attention to that. Also, our annual meeting will be the following Sunday, March 28th in the courtyard. And in both of those, you know, we're going to have music, probably even mini concerts. We think Daring Greatly is going to be there on the 28th. But bring a lunch, bring something to drink and enjoy those things. The other thing is something that I'm really excited about that's happening is starting also in March, I'm going to be offering a class. Now, what's unique and exciting about this class is it's going to be held in both Spanish and English. It has students from Peru and Washington State and all points therein. The class is really about the path of self-mastery, how we manage our own personal power. So please check out the website. There's information on that. I'm so excited to be teaching this class. It'll be on Thursday evenings. Let's see, what else is there going on? Next Sunday, March 7th, I have an interview with Neil Donald Walsh. It was so cool. It was so exciting. And I'm so happy to be sharing this with you. So that will be next Sunday in our virtual service. So as we get ready to move into the house today, I just want to thank all the people that are part of that. Mike Reardon at MikeReardonPhotography.com, I think is what it is. As you'll notice, Paul, obviously we're using a green screen, but this beautiful beach setting that Paul's in, Mike Reardon Photography. Also Paul Calabro, as I just mentioned, he's our practitioner. He's going to be in the house. Our music today is Lee Coulter and Ahria Dawn. And so again, thank you for joining in. Come on in and let's celebrate.
Maybe one man in the microphone, but I didn't get here on my own. Mama taught me my first song and brother let me sing along when they didn't have to. We hear it every day, this world has gone astray. They wanna be the first to tell you it's getting worse. What they don't tell you. There's people coming through. People like you and you and you. You didn't have to, but you do, You keep on coming through. When you feel like you can't cope and you're at the end of the rope, just leave your heart wide open. You start to feel that hope. Come on through. Think about how far we've come, the impossible we've done. Compassion, innovation, through every generation. There's people coming through. People like you and you and you. You didn't have to, but you do. You keep on coming through. Yeah, you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm singing you. Hey you. Thank you. Yeah. teachers and creators, to the givers and caretakers, enterprises, 9 to 5ers, we're all just Earth survivors. And I feel alive. To everyone who helped me along, who listened to my song, who made these strings I strum, and who made this microphone. Well, I know who. It's those people coming through, coming through, coming through. People like you and you and you. You didn't have to, but you do, but you do. You keep on coming through, coming through, coming through. People coming through, coming through, coming through. People like you and you and you. You didn't have to, but you do, but you do. You keep on coming through, coming through, coming through. Yeah, you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm saying you. Hey, you. Thank you. Yeah, people coming through. People like you. People coming through. People like you.
Welcome everyone to the Hilltop Spiritual Center. My name is Paul and I'm your prayer practitioner for today. Let us now begin with a prayer. There is one life. That life is God. That life is our life. It is your life. It is all of our lives. For we are here together today to celebrate this moment, this sacred celebration that allows us to fully be who we are in this present moment. For you and I and all of us share this beauty, this essence, this grace, this consciousness. And so with that today, I simply bless this service, knowing that the words and the music are inspired by a divine melody, a divine song that comes forth in each and every one of us and in each and every way. And so I release and let God. I call it forth into being. And so it is. Now here's the reading. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go, love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. L.R. Nost. And so it is. Find yourself in a nice, comfortable position. Let us now enter the mystery of meditation as a beginning and not an end. Completely letting go of any notion of difficulty, training, and discipline. Breathe in and breathe out the simplicity of love. Love, not as an abstraction, a thing that has to be thought out. Love as a complete and total innocency. Love is included in all things, with the absence of the structure of thought. The inner and the outer life are equally the same. Love is a movement from the inner to the outer. Let go of all things that are in the way of love. Love, not as an abstraction, but love as a complete and total freedom.
Hello again. So I want to ask you this question. How many of you have had the experience that a series of random events seem to kind of coalesce together, and there seems to be a pattern in them that you begin to see? So I've had 2 of those in this last 2 weeks, and I want to share them both with you if I may. The first has to do with the Mars landing. Did you see it? It was absolutely remarkable. This is history in the making. Absolutely amazing. They lowered the Land Rover from a rocket that had a crane. So let's just think about this moment. They shot a rocket roughly 33 million miles away to another planet, then launched a landing module that, as it was approaching the lunar surface, had a crane that lowered Perseverance to the ground, and then they're starting to drive around and broadcasting sounds and sharing visuals of the planet Mars. Let that sink in. Rockets, cranes, 33 million miles away. So what happened is I was having this conversation with a friend of mine, and what he said, which is true, is he said, doesn't this remind you of the moon landing? And you know, to a degree it does, because I remember, as you probably do too, the summer of 1969. It was in July. I know where I was. I know who I was with. And we watched a human being leave planet Earth, travel roughly 300,000 miles away, and land. And then those words from Neil Armstrong, "This is one small step for a man and one giant leap for mankind." And you know, the thing that I remember the most about this whole thing is everywhere in the world, people were talking. They weren't saying, look what the Americans did. They were saying, look what we did. Look what we've accomplished. We've gone to the moon. And now we are traveling to Mars. And I think the lesson in this is that we're all in this together. That once we leave the stratospheres and the atmospheres behind, as we look at this beautiful blue dot in space that we call home, there are no borders. There's one planet, and we're traveling and we're exploring. So let's savor that for a second, and then let me share with you these events. So what happened is it got me thinking about where was I and what was going on during the moon landing. And then I started thinking about who I was reading and what I was reading at the time. And I remember one of the authors that I was really big on in the late 60s was this guy by the name of C.S. Lewis, probably most notably for the Chronicles of Narnia. But he wrote other things, and he wrote this one book that is absolutely mind-blowing. It is one of the most phenomenal books I've ever read. I just read it recently. Now, when I read it as a teenager, I was intrigued. I was even impressed. But it didn't have that impact that it had on me this time that I've read it. You know, it's about, the premise is that hell offers bus tours to heaven. But most of the people that take the tour go back, because what C.S. Lewis says is that hell is locked from the inside, not the outside. So that book led me to another book that I was reading of his. It was a trilogy called Out of the Silent Planet. And the first book in that takes place on Mars. And so there's Mars again. And so right now you might be thinking, okay, so what? What's this have to do? So here's what it is what I saw in the Washington Post the other day was an article that, and I love this, that the engineers that launched this rocket to Mars, if you saw the parachute that lowered the landing craft, it was two colors and it had what appeared to be some sort of random design. Actually, what they did is they used a binary code and wove in a message. And you know, programming nerds saw this immediately and they were able to decode it. And the message was, dare mighty things. I know that. I know where that comes from. That's from a speech from Teddy Roosevelt given in 1910 at the Sorbonne in Paris, and it's entitled The Man in the Arena. I know that speech because when I read it in the 80s, it changed my life. And it begins, it's not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he falls, at least he falls while daring greatly. For better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy nor suffer much, because they live in the gray twilight that knows not victory nor defeat. So this is about the power of life itself. And some years later, his niece Eleanor Roosevelt said this: the purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear for new and richer experience. So do you get that? Right? The purpose of life is to live it. That we're here to live our life to the fullness. So I'm reminded of this first century Palestinian radical Jewish preacher who says, I came that you might have life and have it abundantly. So let's ponder that. In fact, let's let's say these words together. So say with me, the purpose of my life is to live it to the fullness. Let's try that again. The purpose of my life is to live it to the fullness. Breathe that in. Let that encode itself in every cell. Let that just sink into our bones. The purpose of my life is to live it to the fullness. So what happened? Why is it that so many people are not living their life to the fullness? In fact, they're not living abundantly at all. Rather, they're living it guarded or meager or fearful. Or perhaps they're so cemented in the past that they can never move forward. You know, in that book I was talking about earlier, The Great Divorce, one of the general themes, it's really an amazing book, but one of the general themes of it harkens all the way back to Milton's Paradise Lost. Better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. And you know, I think that is so powerful because so many people are more interested in holding on to their past hurts or scarcity or being right, that they are not living a joyful or undefended life. They would rather live in the darkness where they feel a sense of control. And let's face it, what is control? Control is the toxic mimic to power. They're more interested in staying in control than living in the light. You know, Carolyn Mace says that love is light in action. And love is the very power of the universe and beyond. So I believe that the spiritual path is how we learn to manage our power. And oh my, that could be a whole series of talks. That could be a class. That could be a book. And it begins with the question, what is your relationship to power? How does power move through you? So what we understand is that love is the purest expression of power. The mystics know this. And so the next question that I would ask is this, is how does the power of love move through you? And this love is a cosmic love. It's not a personal love. It's not a love that has an agenda. It's not a love that asks, what can I gain? What's in it for me? How does this benefit me? Rather, it's a love that asks, how can I serve? So I don't think we truly understand how powerful we are. I don't think we really appreciate the power of our thoughts and words and the impact that they have on us physically, emotionally, spiritually. Nor do I think we really understand that power that we possess, its impact on other people or the environment that we live in. So, you know, I've been hearing this quote lately. It's kind of like one of those synergistic things that I was talking about earlier. And I must have heard this quote 4 times from 4 different places this last week. And when I heard it, I heard that it was attributed to Jimi Hendrix. And I thought, well, that's interesting, but he must have gotten it from Martin Luther King or maybe even Carl Jung. And so I looked it up, you know, thank God for the internet, right? And the quote actually comes from Prime Minister William Erwin Gladstone. You remember him, right? Yeah, he was Prime Minister about 100 years ago in the Victorian era in Great Britain. But the quote is this: we look forward to the time when the power of love will replace the love of power. Then our world will know the blessings of peace. We look forward to the time when the power of love replaces the love of power. Then our world will know true peace. And so as we understand how this power of love moves through us, what we're surrendering, what we're letting go, is the love of power, that toxic mimic to that real, true power, the power of love. And how we allow the power of love to move through us, healing us, vitalizing us, engaging us, drawing from us that which is good and true and beautiful, as Reverend Angela talked about last week. So join with me right now in a process, allowing yourself to just sit comfortably, to allow your breath to cool your mind, to allow the breath to anchor itself in the body, and just to notice our energy cycles, starting at the very base of our spine, the first chakra, the power of love that unites us, that solidifies our life, that grounds us to the earth, and the power of love that supports us. And how this power of love moves up through us to that second chakra, igniting our creative energies, igniting our ability to create, to expand, to become part of something greater than ourselves. Moving up the power that moves through the solar plexus, vitalizing us, inspiring us, where we can truly say, I have come to live life to the fullness. Moving up to our heart, the power of love expanding, uniting us. We speak love, the power of love that heals, that reconciles, that forgives. We begin to see the world from the crown in the presence of love. How does the world look differently when we see in the power of love? And then, like a fiery crown with many, many branches, like a tree that goes into the starry world. The power of love that connects us to the divine, that connects us to all life. Just again, imagining this love, this great power pouring down to us and through us like a golden light, changing our perception, changing how we speak and act, learning to love in an expansive way, loving ourselves, creating powerfully, daring mighty deeds, and grounding us in our families, our tribes, our communities, our nations, our species, to the world itself. And then we understand what it means to be a citizen of the cosmos.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. It's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. And it's a love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
So thank you everyone for being here at the Hilltop Spiritual Center. We are so grateful to have you. And I just want to take a few moments to express my gratitude. So the way the Spiritual Center really changed my life was simply by understanding and knowing that there's a greater truth to myself, and how this greater truth is really relational. It relates to every single person. A sense of love, a sense of communion and giving and friendship and relationship. And so I started taking classes and signed up for the Practitioner training, and here I am today. How I support the center, which is through prayer and just simply through giving my time and every opportunity I have to give. Because essentially we're not giving to the center, we're giving for ourselves. We're giving for our planet, we're giving for our communities and everyone we interact with on a daily basis. Because truly the work is in consciousness. And so with that, I am deeply grateful for all of us here today, and I simply just want to say that I have a deep love for the Hilltop Spiritual Center, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.